Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Both of those songs are on Romancing the Stone, so, you know, if you don't have it already, make sure you get it.
This is an artist or a group that we had here last year, and they're coming back. This is from Durfee. We have what we call the Durfee Trio, and it's Gary Bigelow is going to be performing, and we also have on the bass, we have a student, Izzy Damaris. She'll be playing. As well as a fiddler to join them. Mary Zima was unable to make it. So let's welcome the Durfee Trio.
Thank you folks so much for coming out. I'm a teacher at Durfee High School, and great to have you all here tonight to help support our program. And Tom Pichette is a string teacher in our school system who works with kids at the high school. And Isabel Damaris is our Saving Grace student down in the music department. And we're very honored to be able to share this stage with so many great artists. And we're going to do our best to entertain you. This is a Michael tune. Just really quickly, I met Michael playing some of the open mics when he was still doing open mics before his gigging. And he was so funny, he came to do a show at the high school. I don't know if Matt mentioned that story, but I opened up for him. I did a couple of tunes to warm up the kids, and then I went into the wings and he was standing there. And he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. These kids are gonna hate this. They're gonna dislike this stuff." I said, "Michael, go out and just do your thing." Because I had, of course, seen him. And they went out there, and he was so floored by the fact that they gravitated to the story, to the lyrics, and respected the playing that was going on up there. So much so that he got off at the end and he says, "That's the best audience I've ever had." He said, "Usually I have people talking in the club all over the place." And I think, not only being a graduate of Durfee, I think he had a little bit more of an affinity for what was going on up at that school. And we have a songwriting guitar class, a piano class, obviously the band and orchestra, and we have a music production class. And so Michael's, so that you know where your money is going, we were able to buy guitars, newer guitars for the kids in guitar and songwriting class. We were able to purchase some new microphones and some headphones for the music technology class, and ancillary other things that we would normally have to shortchange ourselves on, simply because we get funded, but some of the extra things that are nice for kids to have to engage them. Yeah. Things that engage them and get them really close to music, and they hear something that sounds really good if they record it and hear it, and it inspires them. And I'm sure Michael would be thrilled, not only about this day today and as we tribute him, but also about the fact that the instruments that are being used by those kids are also playing some of his tunes in those classes and learning them when they're working on progressions. Yeah. And it gives them a little bit of an understanding that you can come from anywhere and be very successful in the world if you work hard at it. And we all know Michael worked hard in his life, but also worked hard at his music. So enough of that. This is one of his tunes, and we're going to play it nothing like him, because we're not going to pretend that I can play that way, right? Right. So we're going to do our best. And this is called Romancing the Moon. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a message from a wife, an old close friend, and old Milan from way back when. His father won't be blinking those fishing baits. They found him in his easy chair, aces and eights. An invitation from the past to spend some time with them good old boys from the Tiverton line. Hold them shots and beers, belly laughing fiends. Only romance, those hard-nosed years. Oh, I'm on my knees again, praying to the Lord, amen. Light the lamp, show the way to us, my old friend. All that's left intact when you're looking back at that old coal train is that old train track. Listening to romance in the moon. From the wall-top pond where the water spills to the quicker Shan River down the granite hills, under cotton kings from stone cutters' hands, rose 400 mills on promised land. Now the river's been buried and the mill shut down, and the people got poor and the rich left town. In the local bars the stories told of how the looms in the mills turn cotton to gold. Oh, I'm on my knees again, praying to the Lord, amen. Light this lamp, show the way to us, my old friend. All that's left intact when you're looking back at that old mill town is that old train track. Listening to romance in the moon. Play it, Tom. Praying to the Lord, amen. Light this lamp, show the way to us, my old friend. All that's left intact when you're looking back is that old coal train in that old train track. Listening to romance in the moon. When it's loose, heroes cry, wise men listen, let sleeping dogs lie. The same is easy, it's hard to change, although the parts are there, just rearranged. Now when things get lulled and they lose their salt, and it's time to go, ain't no one's fault. It's hard to let go, harder to remain, like old mill towns and old coal trains. 1, 2, 3. I'm on my knees again, praying to the Lord, amen. Light this lamp, show the way to us, my good friend. All that's left intact when you're looking back at that old coal train is that old train track. Oh, we're still to romance in the moon. Baby, you made it. Okay. All right, so the next song Mary was going to sing, and I tried to sing it this morning just in case she didn't. Oh, she's here. Mary. Okay. You're here.
sorry, I missed that one. No.
Okay, that's all right. You're glad you're here. She was up in the Berkshires. I said, it's nice to be wealthy and retired. Mary was a teacher at the Fall River School System, and she also taught a guitar songwriting class up there, and she's just retired. This is her first year in retirement, and she wanted to come back again this year to represent the high school, and it was great for her to offer to do that. And so let's give it a hand to Mary.
I can tell you something, if you want me to. I literally just get off the highway from the Berkshires. I went to a workshop with my good friend Carolyn Soares. I don't know if anybody might know her. She's an educational system also. And we went for a retreat with Joan Borisenko, if anybody knows her work. And long story short, I actually got to play a couple of my originals for her and the audience that was there, and it was an amazing experience. And I can share it with some of you later if you like. But I literally just went from one concert to the next, so I'm glad to be here. I hope everything's been going smoothly. I hope it's been a lot of fun. I bet it has.
I've been sweating waiting for you, but...
One, two, three. Someday you'll grow into a beauty. Someday I'll grow, be old and gray. We'll laugh at the good times we've had, so many. We'll laugh at the hardships of those troublesome days. Now that I look back at it, never thought I'd submit to life, working the mill, taking it day by day. 10 years just slipped away, and look, I'm working it still. Someday you'll grow into your beauty. Someday I'll grow, be old and gray. We'll laugh at the good times we've had, so many. We'll laugh at the hardships of those troublesome days. The world's full of peril, goblins and boogeyman, imagination in a negative way. If you believe in magic, parting seas and true love, a good thought will hold them at bay. Someday you'll grow into a beauty. Someday I'll grow, be old and gray. We'll laugh at the good times we had, so many. We'll laugh at the hardships of those troublesome days. When the shiver in your bones won't let you alone, for fear of what people might say. Never live your dreams if you don't take a chance, and let the chips fall where they may. Life can be hard in between jobs, when the old whirlwind's blowing that way. It seems insignificant, but I become indifferent. My little girl smiling at me. Someday you'll grow into a beauty. Someday I'll grow, be old and gray. We'll laugh at the good times
of those troublesome days. We'll laugh at the good times, we've had so many. We'll laugh at the hardship of those troublesome days. Troublesome
Thank you.
You all could have sang along with us on that. We could have used that help.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right, this last little number we're going to do for you is a tune that I wrote a couple of years ago, and it's actually about something to do with Fall River. If you go by the Shan River, you will notice that there's a river trail in there right now that you can walk right in the middle of the river and right down. And it used to be, just before the railroad ties were in, it used to be just a landmass. And there was a folk tale about the fact that there was a woman called the crone of the Shan. And and she was kind of a magical kind of woman. They said she was Billy the Kid's last mistress. And she lived there.
Captain Kidd, yeah.
Captain Kidd,
That's
excuse
got
me.
it.
What did I say?
Billy the Kid.
Ah,
You're in the wrong era.
Well, one toted a gun, the other one floated a ship. What am I going to say? So, thank you for correcting me on that. And anyway, some of the things about her were that she lived in a twig hut in the middle of that island there, and that she used to do some kind of magical things in there, and she was all dressed in scarlet. So I got motivated by this tale, and I decided to call it the Queen of the Shan, because she was all in that regal red, and I thought she must have been some kind of queen, I bet. And so this is called Queen of the Shan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shine those moonbeams down on me. Queen of the Shan. Shine those moonbeams down on me. Need the magical touch of the light to reflect in the air above the tide. Under the serious moonlight, makes it all feel good, makes it so alright. Queen of the Shan, Queen of the Shan, Queen of the Shan. Shine those moonbeams down on me. Queen of the Shan. Shine those moonbeams down on me. Oh, need the magical touch of the light to reflect in the air above the tide. Under the serious moonlight, makes it all feel good, makes it so alright. Queen of the Shan. Oh, oh, Queen of the Shan. Play it, Tom. just do me whatever you can. I'm infected by that woman, man, queen of the quickest Shan. 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 Thank you, folks. Thank you, Michael Troy's family. Thank you.
We're setting up right now for the what we've dubbed the Charlie Pike Bluegrass Band. This is the first appearance at the foundation. The band is comprised of Dennis Carton, Kenny Pavo, Ted Mello, and Ellen Breen. And Chris Pike. I'm sorry, Chris Pike. And now Tom is sitting in with them too. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just like Charlie Pike's.
Okay, ready. Give it a go. We're going to start and then he's going to get through. Go ahead, Kenny. Dipping on Friday night. Going out to Charlie Pike's. I got a guitar and some beer. Going down the common ground. Take her some miles around Aggie. Charlie is an institution. Take it in as a contribution. Singing and swaying with a mandolin. Wonder if he knows what an inspiration he's been. I don't gotta go too far, I don't gotta be a star. All I wanna do is play. Stand up, bass, slap the time, voices harmonize and rhyme. Music don't get just that way. All I wanna do is play. Working the graveyard shift, see nocturnal seem to pay. As a musician, hell is not having time to play. Get you on a Friday night, sleep time for Charlie Pike's. I wear the guitar and some beer. Going down common ground. Some miles around Aggie. I don't gotta go too far, I don't gotta be a star. All I wanna do is play. Stand up, bass, slap the time, and voices harmonize and rhyme. Music junkies are just that way. All I wanna do is play. Guitar ringing all around, the fiddle singing. Oh, and burners in full swing. Sound of hardwood fills the air, body sway without a care. Cold outside, don't need a thing. All I wanna do is play.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Didn't quite have an opportunity to introduce that song, but I think you all get the idea.
We call ourselves the Charlie Pike Bluegrass Band, although we're not really a band. We're a bunch of guys and gals and folks that, well, one gal, yeah, thanks, Ted, that all have one thing in common. I had the opportunity of knowing Mike from a very early age. Like Johnny Vitello, hung around with Dear Walter and, Stevie Cabral and Captain Lou out here, and got to know those guys quite well, and a lot of the folks that Mike sings about. But we all have that one thing in common, and that is Charlie Pikes. And Ellen, you want to talk a little bit about Charlie Pikes?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if you can kind of imagine, if you will, a time where there's no social media and no cell phones and no GPS and no texting, and yet pickers would, to quote Mike, pickers would come from miles around to play music at Charlie Pike's. And it was special for many of us, and at times it was magical, it really was. And what Mike did, as only Mike could, was capture and preserve that memory of this song for us, so it was just special. So anyway, good time.
Very much worthy of pointing out that Charlie did 19 or almost 20 years of Friday nights, and I think only missed 2 Friday nights ever. And very distinguished young man over here. This is Chris Pike. This is Charlie's grandson on the banjo.
Hello.
Now, Mike and I played music together for many, many years, and Kenny joined us going way back in our early 20s. And as I said, I knew Mike as probably about 12, 13 years old when I first met him. But Mike was very fond of bluegrass music, as you might tell. A lot of it comes out in the songs that he wrote. And we're going to do a song now that Mike was very, very partial of, and it's called "A Girl from Sunny Tennessee." Mike and I would listen to a lot of different musicians: Doc Watson, Tony Rice, Gary Davis, Mississippi John Hurt. But one that really stuck out was Norman Blake, and we learned this off of one of his songs, his albums. Here we go. fields of cotton. My old home said I could see, and the moon rose in its glory as I told my sad story about the girl I left in sunny Tennessee. About the girl I left in sunny Tennessee. Thank you very much. We just picked Tom up this afternoon, so he's, fits right in. It's like being at Charlie Pike's, He says he's going to have to learn it. I think he did pretty good. All right, this next song we're going to do is a song of Mike's. Now, knowing Mike for a long time, I know that he was very, very fond of Stephen Foster, and I think this song, in many ways, pays homage to Stephen Foster. It's called the Bobtail Nag. Chris? I bet my money on the Bobtail Nag. When he heard that on the bay, he held his ticket like a lifeline. I threw mine away. We stood in line like chainlink, waiting for choice we made. Yeah, the only difference between him and me was choices we made. Hey, yeah, the window blows, so cold in Mexico. Sometimes I wanna go where no one knows my name. Drink tequila, run a red-eye fly, change my love, forget the night. Making down the highway in the pouring rain.
God confess, I ain't no saint, what I ain't, but I got that thirst. Cards passed around, chips are down, bottle called the bluff. He bet my wife and family and I had enough. Now Stephen Foster, what I know. They say he died alone in Florida. They said he died for alone. Not a penny to his name. Therefore humble. That's the game.
Hey, yeah, the window blows, so cold in Mexico. Sometimes I wanna go where no one knows my name. Drink tequila, run a red-eye fly, change my love, forget tonight.
Taking down the highway in the pouring rain.
Now there's Jane and Alzheimer's, pretty good friends of mine. He had the life, she held the thoughts, held them blind. I woke up in the 90s, 70s were gone. Why'd we skip the 80s? Something was wrong. I worked the mill, I do recall, was a fisherman for a while. I left before some bourgeoisie, I put that on fire. I woke up in the job market, midlife can be cruel. Minimum wage in the States, going back to school. Hey, yeah, the window blows, so cold in Mexico. Sometimes I wanna go where no one knows my name. Drink tequila, run a red-eye fly, change my love, forget tonight.
Taking down the highway in the pouring rain.
We're getting ready for our final act. Singer-songwriter Mike Laureano has had a great time performing in his tunes across the country. He's been at the Kerrville Folk Festival, the Woody Guthrie Festival, and several others. He's always done very well for himself and for Fall River. Along with his brothers, he becomes the Flying Laureano Brothers. That is on a good day. On a bad day, they're the Fighting Laureano Brothers. Sorry, Mike, I had to take that from you. So we're about ready to get them going. They're going to be doing 3 songs as well, and then we're going to have all of the artists come back up on stage, and we're all going to sing a big song with you, because you'll know it. It's a simple song. It's a Beatles tune, and everybody our age must know it, right? Okay. The Flying Laureano Brothers.
Thanks, Chuck. How about a big hand for Chuck, Kurt, the family, and Patrick for putting on the show, and all the musicians. Something so beautiful about celebrating Michael's life and his music in the mill, you know, it just really makes sense. Some of you probably already heard this. For those of you who haven't, you know, how I met Mike. I met him in 1998 at an open mic in Club Passim, and the first thing I noticed about him was that, you know, he stole my outfit, so I was pretty pissed, you know. He had the hat on and the vest, and that's typical attire for guys from the South End, you know. So when he got off the stage, I could tell that he, you know, I knew this dialect all too well. So when he got off the stage, I approached him, and I asked him, I said, "Where are you from?" And he kind of shuffled her a little bit, and he said, "Somerset." And I said, "Okay, I know that's not true, you know." I said, no, where were you born? And that made him a little nervous, and you could tell, and he kind of like, you know, came closer to me, and he leaned down, he almost half whispered into my ear, "Fall River," you know. So I let him sweat it out for a few minutes, and then I told him that I too came from Fall River, and we got talking, became fast friends. He lived only a block away from me in the South End, but he was 10 years older than me, so I didn't know him. But he didn't have a CD out, so I offered him to come over to my studio and record his album free, and it was pretty simple stuff. You know, I set up 2 microphones, and I ran the cables down to my bedroom, and just, you know, gave him my guitar, and I said, "Just play." Now, these are songs that he, you know, had been playing for probably 15 years, so he knew them like the back of his hand. And every song that you hear on Whispers in the Wind was done in 1 take. Now, there were some false starts. I never told you about this, but Mike had between verses, I could hear this clicking noise, sort of clicking, and what the hell is that? So I stopped. What's going on? I thought he had buttons on his jacket, but it wasn't that. It kept clicking. So I finally realized that he liked to roll a lozenge, a mint in his mouth. You guys know that. He always had a mint in his mouth. So in between the verses, he'd be going. So I came out. I said, "You got to take that out." No. He finally made him spit it out, you know, and we got to the rest of the songs. But I'm in the other room, and you know, after every song, he would ask, "How is that? Any good?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you know, these songs are like so powerful." And I'm bawling my eyes out, you know, hoping he doesn't know, because these songs are so truthful and honest about people and where we grew up. There's probably his daughter Hannah. Is she here, Hannah? Yes. Yeah, Johnny Vitello mentioned that, you know, Cat Stevens, Mike loved Cat Stevens, knew his entire Teeth of the Tillman album. And Hannah told the story that she was so used to hearing those songs and seeing the album with that picture of Cat Stevens, who looked like her father, that she grew up believing that her father was Cat Stevens. But if there was ever a genre called, you know, Fall River Americana, Mike definitely owned it and created it. And no song probably typifies that best than the song Lizzie. And Mike told me when he used to play, his style is very complicated. The right hand is playing sort of melody and harmony, and the thumb is doing that counterpoint. And he said he tried to emulate a piano. A lot of times he heard a piano in his head when he was writing these songs. So his guitar part was sort of transposing what he heard as a piano piece. So I'm going to go play Lizzie on the piano here. waits, a giggling child in excited sway. They loaded and hitched the wagon for the country summer stay. The summer home's a city girl's Camelot. It gets hot in the city. It gets hot. Abby's in a parlor with Uncle John when Daddy said he put the Swansea farm in Abby's name, and Lizzie saw it. It was a stone that honed the axe to play the plot. It gets hot in the city. It gets hot. I'm gonna take the wagon to the Swansea farm, gonna spend a day. I got supplies, I got a fishing line, I got sinkers, I got a friend of mine. We'll go wading in the Taunton River. Daddy give her everything she need. He went out of his way to give her, crept into her dream sometime in the black of night. It gets hot in the city. It gets hot. Hey! Revenge would feed a hungry heart that fatal day. Abby went upstairs to make the guest room bed, destined to pay with her life for a love for a poor child never got. It gets hot in the city. It gets hot. But Daddy come home to her surprise, a changing plan. Well, I got no time for alibi here, suspicious man. She took his coat, he took some time to relax, kissed his cheek.